So we've actually done most of the hard work in setting up these classes, so we're just going to add a few new things to this game. The first thing that we were adding was the MotherShip that's going to spawn the aliens in my game. So it's not necessary that you go to that same added layer. You could just spawn them from anywhere you like, but this is the way I sort of envisioned it happening. And what I want is, since this is spawning off some of the enemies, I would like to know what probability I should do that, or sort of like my spawn rate. So that's what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to keep track. Motherships know probability. Motherships know what their spawning rate is. That way, if I want to make it more difficult, I make it faster, but I can control that. So when I build a mothership, that's what I want to know from you. What spawn rate would you like? And in here, I'll show you a little bit about what's going to happen. First, remember, we need to build the parent class. And next, that probability is going to be equal to the spawn rate that you tell me. Now, one thing I'm going to update here in this class, and I'll show you how to do this if you forget at the beginning. So right now, this mothership is an actor. If you follow the arrow, that's who the parent is. It's an actor. But what I think I'd like to do is just have that spaceship move left and right, dropping its, enemies down. So in order to make that behavior happen, I'm going to actually make it a goal mover. So I don't want to have to restart everything. What you do in Java is this is where you say where everybody's related. Instead of saying extends actor, I'm going to say extends goal mover. Now if I compile it, oops, and I've got a, well, that's spawn. It's sort of funny that I spelled it wrong both times, but anyway, spawn. What you'll see when I move this window is that I've actually changed the way those things are connected. See that? The mothership is got its connection now to goal mover. So all I want this thing to do is, because it moves with a goal, that's what I'm going to say is just be a goal mover. Someone that moves to a location I give it. The other thing that we wanted this to do is to spawn a UFO. So I'll take care of that right now. Public void spawn UFOs. And here's how I'm going to do it. I will check and see if some random number that you give me is less than that probability. So the way you would interpret this is if you give me a spawn rate of 0.10, that would be a 10% chance that I drop an alien on you. Okay? So that's what you're doing when I call spawn the UFOs. It'll see, am I allowed to? Is it within the probability I was given? And this will behave sometimes. I mean, it's not a perfect every 10th count. If it was 10%, you might get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then nothing for quite a while. Because it's random, on the long term, it's going to be 10%. Now, I'm going to make a Greenfoot image here, and I'm going to attach it to the UFO. And I know that's located in my images directory, and it's located as ufo.png. And the reason I want that is I want to know exactly how big it is so that when I stick it in the world, I can manipulate exactly where it is. Sorry, it shouldn't be a new world. It should be get world. So I'm going to ask this mothership to give me the world so that I can put an alien in it. So the alien is going to be a UFO. And I would like it to start its life right at the dead center of the UFO, its parent mothership. And this is where the parent's middle is for horizontal. And I would like it to be dropped right underneath. So to make it go right underneath, I'm going to say that what I want is... sorry, I'm actually skipping a step here. I am going to use that, but the first thing I'm doing in the alien, which I've got to do to build it, is give it its goal. So that was what the alien was created with, was a goal. So first I have to give it a goal. So to make it drop straight down, rather, straight down means the x-coordinate won't change. but where I want you to go is the full height of the screen, but don't go past your own height, or otherwise you'll actually go below the screen. This last little bit of math is not necessary for it to disappear, but you know, at least that way, once it gets there, it'll stop when it bumps the edge of the screen. It'll disappear. So where I want to add it to the world, I want to add the UFO to the same X coordinate, and I want it to happen just below the mothership. So this is the mothership's Y, and what I'm going to do is I'll show you exactly where it's going with a picture here. Sometimes it's easier to draw the picture yourself than try to guess about where it's going to go. If this is the mothership, try that again, that's quite messy. So if this is the mothership, that's its X and Y. That's the mothership's height divided by 2. And this is where the alien, the little UFO, is going to be. And that's, again, this distance plus the next one. That's the height of this alien over 2. So if I want to get right to the bottom of it, that's how much I need to move it. So I'll get that Y, and I will add the UFO's height divided by 2 and the mothership's height divided by 2. So what this does is if it gets past the spawn rate, it's allowed to create a new alien and put it in the world. And the position I've given it is directly below the mothership. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to have happen is if it reaches its goal, I would like it to change to a new goal, so it keeps moving left and right. So I'm going to give it this little bit of logic. If you've reached your goal, then I would like you to change your goal. Now, whether or not I reached my goal, that's part of the goal mover. So even though I haven't said how you do that, the mothership gets it for free because it just asks its parent, how do I know, am I at my goal yet? So I don't need to recode it, I'll just reuse it. But I do have to write how I change my goal, and I can do that down here, like this. So in this case, I'll keep track of half of the image's width, because I don't want it to go overlap the edges of the screen. And then I'll keep track of the minimum X, oops, sorry, which is just this buffer, and the minimum Y. So to get that maximum Y, I need to know how big the world is. And I'll draw you a picture of this in just a second. So let's pretend that this is the screen, and I don't know the size of my screen in pixels, but I can ask for it. The mothership itself, I don't want it to be placed like this. It would be out of bounds on the screen. So that means I basically want to avoid anything from that half. So how big is that half? That's the buffer that I've just said. This is my buffer space here. Don't allow me to go in there. That way, the farthest it can go is here, like this. It won't go off the edge of the screen. And then the same thing would happen on the right side. Don't go past the edge of the screen on the right side. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to communicate to Java here with the math. So if I know what my bounds are, here's a handy formula for getting the range. So it's the maximum minus the minimum plus 1, and then adding the minimum value back again. So I'll explain the math to you here. But at this point, now all I have to say is please set the goal to be that random x value and the same y value I had before. So I'm only moving left and right. This little piece of math here, it's possible to use Greenfoot's built-in random class, but for those of you who, at some point in your future, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, are considering advanced placement, this is the way we do it in advanced placement using the standard library. So math.random works like this. It's going to give me a value between 0 and 0.9999, going on and on and on. So if I want to change this range, I can multiply it in. For example, if I wanted numbers from 1 to, well, let's say from 5 to 20. So 20 minus 5 plus 1, that's going to be 16 values. Why do I need a 16 there? How many numbers are there from 5 to 20? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm actually asking for 16 values. So what'll come out of it is when I multiply, 0 is still going to be 0, but this piece here is going to turn into 15.9999, going on and on. So I'm close to my range that I said, but what I have to do is move everybody up. I want it to start here. So I'm going to add 5. That'll turn this into a 5. And that'll turn this, if I add 5 more, to 20.999, going on and on and on. Now that's great, but I don't want the decimal. So I'll tell Java, with what's called casting, please turn this into an integer, which means remove the decimal. So the result is that's gone, and I have 5 to 20 as my random numbers. So you'll find that the task of generating a range of random numbers is something you do quite often. I would encourage you to learn to try it this way, but of course you're welcome to use the built-in Greenfoot classes as well. Okay. So now I'll just quickly show you what this MotherShip can do. So if I put the MotherShip in the world, I'll give it a spawn rate of 3%. And you have to realize how many times that act method's being called, but oops. Of course I've got a problem we need to work out here. I can't test if I've met my goal when I haven't given a goal yet. So basically what's happened here is I'm trying to test if I've reached a goal and I haven't given myself one yet, and this is all null. So Java got grumpy with me. Perhaps I was being a little bit careless. So we can fix it by going to the goal mover class. And in this goal mover, this is where the carelessness happens. I might not have a goal. That might be null. And that would be a problem because if it's null, it doesn't exist and I'm trying to figure out if two things are equal. So what I'm going to do to make this a little bit more robust, I'll take the old version out and I'll check. So if the goal is not null, then I can do what I had before. So this is the same code, but now I don't have to worry about getting that error in Greenfoot. And what I'll simply do is, if it is null, there's no goal. So sure, you've already made it because you've nowhere to go. You have no objection, so you have no objective, nowhere to move, so we'll say, yeah, you've reached that no place. And now that should at least allow me to show you what the MotherShip does. And we'll put it in with 3% again. So when I run it, it's going to drop little aliens. And that's what you're trying to get away from. Okay? So if you have an idea for something you'd like to spawn, that's something you could kind of borrow from that code and take from it. But that's what my MotherShip class looks like.